Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching FANTAVISION, and you know what? I know it sounds crazy, but 2022 is really the breaking point when it comes to video games. 2021 was quite possibly the worst year in the games industry because of a plethora of different things, from controversies to games just coming out broken. And I'm not talking about just small games, but major releases coming out in a horrible state. But something that is slowly creeping its way into video games and is more insidious than you think is NFTs. And if you don't know what an NFT is, it stands for non-fungible token, which doesn't really explain anything, but it basically is saying that you own the original of said item. So let's say it's a video game item. It's kind of like those CSGO skins where you own that skin and you can do with it what you want. The only difference between NFTs and CSGO skins or other items like that are the fact that these are all backed up by blockchain, which then brings into, the ecological issue with NFTs and blockchain and the fact that you have to have all these different computers holding on to all these codes and keeping track of all these transactions. These are the things you're hearing about all over the internet. Companies left and right are trying to cash in on these things while other companies are denouncing them, calling them scams. In fact, even people that used to be part of Facebook are calling these mostly scams, which is saying a lot considering how bad Facebook is. But these could change video games as we know it. I mean, even Hard Drive had an article making a joke about how NFTs will save video games by making no one want to play them anymore. And that's the thing, is that is actually more truth than just a parody. These are things that could ruin the fundamental things about video games and make pay to win almost in every single video game. They would also be taking out another piece of video games that we already love and now charging for them. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they're already selling items, so they might in the future sell weapons. They might start selling skins in this way, and it's bad enough that we already have to pay for most cosmetics that used to just be a part of the game. You remember that? You remember when you could just unlock things in the game? That was pretty neat. But now we're going to have investors speculating on what skins, cosmetics, and weapons are going to be worth more down the road. And we're going to be seeing what we're seeing with the current consoles. Now, of course, the crazy prices on consoles are because of the insane demand and the lack of supply. But the NFTs are going to be an artificial digital scarcity that is going to be just like this. We're going to see auction houses in our video games where you can buy in-game items for real money, and that's just going to keep fluctuating. We already have plenty of terrible economies in games, whether it comes to fake currencies that are just trying to obfuscate how much you're actually spending on the game, pay-to-win economies where you can just put your credit card numbers in, swipe it, and then you get all the best items and you just win the game. But NFTs, if they are adopted by major corporations, I mean, Square Enix has already talked about how they want to put this in all of their future titles and could possibly ruin a game that's already been out and very popular, Final Fantasy XIV Online. But if major brands like Square Enix, Ubisoft, and others start joining in and putting NFTs in games, whether we like it or not, I mean, there's really not much we can do about it unless we just don't take part in NFTs and we don't buy the games that have them in it. I don't really know how we're going to stop this dystopian future from happening. And the thing is, the sad truth is that it's going to happen anyway, because there are enough suckers out there that are going to make this a thing. I mean, if you look at Blizzard, for example, which is a company we all know and love, World of Warcraft steeply went downhill. They lost millions of subscribers, and they were in a downward trend for now they've just slammed into the ground, but it doesn't matter, because the people that are still playing are the whales. Those are the people that have embraced all of the most terrible aspects of video games, and they've just spent all of the money they had. They've bought the mounts, they've bought the character transfers, they've bought the paid level boosts. There are enough gamers out there that are just like this, that are considered whales to these companies, that they will continue to make these companies profits and show that NFTs are worth it in the long run if they just stick to it. Plus, I don't know if you've noticed, but you remember when horse armor was something that we all laughed at and said was stupid? And now microtransactions and DLC are so much worse than horse armor, And yet now it's commonplace because they just kept pushing it. And that's what these companies are going to keep doing. They're going to keep pushing the boundary until we either give up or give in and keep buying. Personally, I think our 2022 resolution should be to resist these things at all costs, because if we continue to allow companies to be even more greedy and want all of the money, it's just going to keep getting worse. Video games are going to keep being less satisfying. They're going to keep being grindier. I mean, I could totally see some of these NFT items being locked behind incredibly grindy quests, and then the developers are like, well, you can just buy it for real money to skip the grind, which is exactly where level boosts came in from Ubisoft, where the level boosts came in from World of Warcraft, all of these different things that they made the game a grind, they made the game unfun to play, and they want to pressure you into spending money to skip the grind, which is basically skipping the game, to get to the more fun bits and to get the items you want. They want you to weigh the option of how many hours is this going to take, what is my time worth, and start factoring that in like video games are a job, which a lot of these video games already are doing when it comes to in-game items you can purchase with real money, and like I said, level skip. If better armor and better weapons really do get locked behind NFTs, every game is going to be a pay-to-win game, and every game will be pointless to play. If somebody can beat me by putting in their credit card number, I don't want to play it. And you honestly shouldn't want to either, because then where's the fun in that game if the only reason they beat you was because they spent more money? And the thing about video games is they're supposed to be an escapism from reality. In reality, there is no economic equality. You can't just get further with skills. There are a lot of skilled people out there that aren't paid a whole lot. But in a video game, it all boils down to skills. It all boils down to everybody is equal in this game. You earn what you earn in the game, and you can't have real life come in and ruin it for everybody. But that's what NFTs are going to do. So even though a lot of wonderful games are coming out this year, Breath of the Wild 2, Total War Warhammer 3, maybe Starfield if it doesn't get delayed again, Horizon Forbidden West, I could keep going. Even though there are a lot of great games that are coming out this year that, I mean, I don't think will have NFTs in them, there'll be plenty of others that do. Try to resist it as much as you can, even if the game looks like fun, because honestly, the consequence of us embracing these things is much greater than missing out on a couple games here and there. Let me know how you feel about this down in the comments, and as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.